reach out to the people or keep them engaged that attended the Zoom or the culture chat. I don't know if there's a way to do that. I'm sure we've got emails because they've signed up. I don't know if that's getting into privacy issues, but it might be nice just to, I don't know, send a thank you, maybe throw out some other ways people can stay involved.
Ongoing conversations, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
More conversation threads.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of sending out a thank you and then maybe including in that thank you a way to stay involved, a way to do what, whatever you guys come up with as that next step.
Do we have another one planned? I wasn't able to be at the last meeting, so I'm kind of behind here.
No, I don't think we had anything else in the books, but we talked about doing another one, seeing how this one went. And I think there's definitely room for it. And I think people are hungry for that, to be able to talk about those issues. One thing that I thought was interesting in the City Commission meeting on Tuesday, there was that economic strategic plan that was introduced, and there were some arts and culture things in there that I was not aware of. So I thought that might be a great springboard for a conversation about some of those ideas that were brought up, and maybe even beyond ideas, things that could be looking forward and how arts and economics work together. And especially as we're getting over a pandemic, I mean, we have to consider commerce and just what the city's role is in the arts and culture funding platform. And one thing that I love to see in that as economic strategic plan was that they did identify TGT funding as not being stable and not really where the arts funding should come from the city. So that made me really happy. I know we've talked about that several times, but it just seemed like having that in that economic strategy would be for us to pick up on and to strategize as we're communicating with the commission about funding for next year.
So Marlo, would it make sense to have a culture chat that included some of the people who were speaking at that commission meeting, or, chamber folks or folks like that, kind of broaden it that way to get more people involved, the artists and the economics folks all together? Would that be a way to go, perhaps?
I think that what I have in front of me, so I have this economic development strategic plan goal that mentioned a strategy for arts and culture, but I don't know where that originated from. Was it from a consultant group, Porter? Do you know where that source was from?
Yeah, you're jumping ahead of me because you did a good job watching. Because I was going to bring this up because I want you to be, all of you to be aware of it. Frankly, I was not fully aware of everything either. But basically, the short version is that the city, for the first time, is embarked earlier this summer on developing an economic development strategic plan. And they hired this firm, and the firm reported out last night with this report, which was very heavy, I would dare say, in arts and culture, and really, the unmistakable Lawrence idea, and really celebrating that in a good way. And then Courtney Shipley, Commissioner Shipley, spoke to arts and economic prosperity and quoted some of the numbers from that, which I was very pleased to hear that. So it was really sort of a wow moment for me. I was just listening and smiling because, this is good. This is finally it seems to be permeating in a higher consciousness. And much of this was...
It was not accidental.
What? No, I know it wasn't accidental. I've been working on this since 2015. So to hear it finally sort of resonate was great. That's my point. I don't mean I was surprised by it. I was pleased that we have a lot of good information. We've got a cultural plan. We've got a arts and economic prosperity research tool. So all of that was there. So it was good. What I can do is send it. If you go to last night's City Commission agenda on iCompass, you can find it. It was the third agenda item, I believe, and there's a whole report there. And then I will send out to you guys the link from the meeting, and I have right in front of me the time frame as to when this was presented, so you can go and look at that. But you can also see the full report and a summary report in that agenda item.
Is there any more discussion on this agenda item?
I wonder if that subgroup, that committee group would want to meet about the culture chat and kind of debrief and how it went, and then maybe setting a date for the next one. That way, if we do send a thank you email to those participants that showed up, we can say, join us for the next one on December, whatever the date might be. Because I did think it was really effective in a way for us to stay present in the community and just to people aware that the commission exists and what our mission is. So
Porter, do you want to try and get everybody together for that culture chat subgroup?
Yeah, I'll send out an email and a Zoom, or not Zoom, what's the other one? Doodle poll to see when people could meet.
Very good idea, Marlo.
do you all like that idea of the using that study, that economic strategic plan as a springboard for that topic, just in general? Cool.
Great idea.
Cool.
Okay, any more discussion, questions, comments? Nope. Porter, what's next?
Final Fridays. I didn't know if you had any new information from some of what you were working on with your group. I haven't heard anything recently.
I've been having family emergencies left and right. So unfortunately, I missed the roundtable today. Marlon can probably speak to that because I think she was there. But I do have a piece of information about the final Friday in November. There is going to be music in front of the library. That was kind of set up between Tina Soper and I and Steve Mason. And they're going to do a fiddling around. So there's no singing, but musicians can come and play. I believe it's from 5 to 6. That'll be in front of the library outside. And there have been some discussion of other entities having other groups play at other spots along downtown Final Friday corridor. So I'm not sure where that's going. So, Marlo, do you have anything to add?
For that November Final Friday, I know that the Art Center is partnering with DLI for the Santa. Since there's no Santa gathering this year, we're going to do like a virtual live stream of Santa on top of Weavers. So I'm hoping to get more information about that. I don't have all the details, but I know it's like an online virtual thing. We did meet Lisa from the Theater and Music School, and I met to talk about just the framework for Final Fridays, and the idea being that this wouldn't be something that needed to be organized by the Roundtable or LCAC, but just to provide a framework. Explore Lawrence offered to put on their website a resource list for Final Fridays, people who wanted to plug in. A couple things that we thought of was getting away from the idea that Final Fridays has to be every month during the pandemic. It can be seasonal. So perhaps the focus is a winter one and then a spring one as we're trying to get back to a little bit more sense of normalcy. And the idea being that people could plug in ways that are experiential, more ephemeral experiences of art. So whether it's art on the loop or art downtown at different venues, but a way to experience art and then move through it. So we jotted down some ideas and we shared it with the Roundtable today. And I think we're trying to get that group together in the next week or two to look at that framework and to see if ideas from it. And I know the increase in numbers with COVID cases came up when we were talking today at Roundtable. So, that's definitely a consideration on everybody's mind. But I think there's ways to do it that are safe and not even we had some fun ideas with driving through, having I took some inspiration, Porter, from that outdoor sculpture exhibit where we had the audio tour available sometimes on that AutoCast, which I think was great. So we're talking about could we do a drive-through of Lawrence? Could it be a podcast where you type in a number and you can hear a little bit about a public art or a mural? The Van Gogh has that really great new mural that Mona Cliff helped with, stuff like that, where you can experience art, but also stay socially distanced and safe.
Else. How did the rest of the art roundtable go today, Marlo?
It was good. Yeah, everybody, there were some concerns about the new cases, but everybody, I think, taking a hybrid approach. So thinking of like ways that virtual and in-person can come together. I know like at the Art Center, that's been something that's been really successful for us. Like with the last Final Friday, we did a virtual tour where Ben kind of guided us through the exhibits just on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it was wonderful because after the cameras shut down, people came into the galleries in person in slow groups. So it wasn't like, a mad rush between 5 and 9. It was more like trickle of people here, trickle of people there. But they were incited by that digital experience. So finding ways that you're tapping into people who aren't comfortable leaving their house and giving them art to them, bringing the art to the people, but then also bringing people closer, and people who are comfortable for experiencing art in person, but at distance places. So that was kind of some good discussion that everybody had.
Okay, Porter, what do we have next?
Because of discussion, I left 2021 budget and programs on this, but I think with this new information and with what happened with Culture Chat, unless somebody wants to speak to something specifically, might be better to hold on that, since obviously that'll be further discussion at the retreat in January as well.
Anybody want to say anything now? Okay. What's the next thing, Porter?
That's it. Marlo talked about the Economic Development Strategic Plan. I'll send you all information so that you can actually go and take a look at that. And if you want to listen to the video from the City Commission meeting, I think it runs for about 45 minutes or so. But it's lengthy but very thorough and enlightening as to what the city's working on in this capacity. So I'll send that information out to you so you all can review that too.
Okay.
And that's all we
then.
had.
Is there any... Sorry, Porter. What were you saying?
That's all we had on the agenda.
Is there anything miscellaneous anybody else wants to bring up?
What are we going to look at in December at the next meeting?
It will be the agenda for the board retreat on January 10th, so we'll get that solidified. And I think with that, I need to bring back your committees, at least the headings, and probably talk a little bit about committee structure, which then we can determine who wants to serve in those committees in January, but rethink committees. And I realize some of this is so speculative because we just don't know exactly what 2021 is going to look like. But I think Mary's point is well taken too, of talk a little bit about Phoenix Awards and thoughts about how to proceed with that for next year.
Right.
Did you get the new members indoctrinated, Porter?
Yes, we had an orientation with Jordan, James, and Sarah, so they're anointed.
They're official. Good. All right, if nobody else has anything, once again, I shall entertain a motion. Who would like to throw it out?
I move.
Denise Stone moves to adjourn the meeting. Who's second?
I think, was that Jordan? Did Jordan move?
No, Denise moved.
Denise moved, okay.
I moved to second the motion.
Okay, thanks.
Jordan Martinez seconds the motion. Start singing now. Okay. All in favor, show by raising your hand, and then we'll let Clint say aye.
All right, I see all hands raised. Clint?
This is Clint. Aye.
And Clint says aye, so it's unanimous. Thank you all very much.
All right, everybody stay safe.
Stay safe.
Bye.
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 Bye.